Okay, welcome to another Lightning Strikes Twice. We have one topic apiece and 5 minutes to discuss. The other doesn't know what the other's going to bring up. So, Casey, you're first and tell me what you want to talk about.
What are your thoughts on genetic privacy?
Ooh,
I
oh
don't think
boy.
we've talked about that, have we?
No, I think that's a huge deal. And I don't know how you could maintain that because, like, obviously there's certain things you need to, like doctors or whoever analyzing your genetics and stuff, but it's like, okay, now you're in some database and like, ooh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Well,
DNA and stuff, obviously DNA testing within crime and whatnot is like, okay, so we have these suspects, so we'll compare their DNA, but now they have a database of your DNA, even if you didn't do anything wrong, you
yep.
know? So it's like, and you can't
Well,
change that.
yeah. You can't just have a new genome issued to you by
Mhm.
Visa.
Yeah. Well, and with data leaks that happen all the time, I mean, and also like you've got these services where you can send off a sample and they'll test your DNA, and now that's on
Yeah.
file, and like 23andMe and Ancestry and whatnot, like, which those are cool services, and it's kind of cool to know. But
Well,
man, I don't know.
23andMe went bankrupt, right?
Yep. So
And
like, okay,
they're
we're
they're selling off or like bidding off basically their all their data
yeah,
to whoever buys it. And like, do you think the person that buys it is going to be like, well, I better keep this stuff safe?
yeah, maybe not, but you'd
Yeah.
never know. How would you know? Because they just sell it off, right? And I mean, also governments having access to that information too. It's like it's problematic any way you look at it, I think. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
oof.
I mean, I think there are possibilities of ways to get around, um, um, ways to create actual, true, uh, safe encrypted methodology for something like that. The
Yeah.
the trick is like, will those methods play nice with current legislation? Because I've looked into this a little bit, and even all these budding companies that are like, we keep your data totally secure and private and stuff, and then you go and read their privacy policy, and they're like, yeah, well, I mean, if we're subpoenaed, then we have to hand it over.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not really as secure as it could be. Like,
Nope.
you like there's absolutely no reason you couldn't make it so that even you and your company have no idea
Hmm.
who the information is attached to. It like keep like with all the cryptocurrency blockchain stuff and
Hmm.
everything, Web3 and all the like smart contracts and stuff, like there's totally ways to conduct commerce privately, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, there is. Well, and what they'd have to do basically is when they're getting your sample and pulling the information, your genetic structure, whatever, they'd have to at that point encrypt it, and then they don't store the initial information. They only
Right.
store the modified version that can still be worked with, but you can't work backwards. That's basically
Mm.
the way that you could do it. And yeah, you're right. If they like it will Apple, because they have their encryption on their phones and stuff, and they've been contacted by police and government agencies many times, and they're commanded to, like, oh, crack this phone or whatever, and they're like, we can't.
Yeah.
you know and then it's the encryption backdoor thing. They're still pushing for that shit,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, at that point, it's not your security. You have no security.
Supposedly AI has been able to decrypt some of this stuff
Mhm.
and sort of suss out from the genetic material a person's identity
Yeah.
without any identifying information whatsoever attached to it. So like this is definitely becoming something that needs to be addressed.
Well, yeah. Well, certainly there has to be a discussion about that. Like, how do we address that? What do we
Right.
do? Like, because it's it's one of those things, like it's going to change overnight, right? Like right
Yeah.
now maybe it just seems like a little bit of a deal, but suddenly it'll be like, oh shit, encryption, AI can just crack all encryption, or quantum computers or whatever. And then, okay, well, we didn't have a plan, you know,
Yeah.
like, so we better figure it out now, what we're going to do. Oh, that's time. That's a really deep one, man. That's like a
Yeah.
damn. And it goes into
That's
all
what she
kinds.
said.
Well, it's always a good day when you can throw one of the that's what she says in there. Oh man. All right. So my topic is sort of a current events thing. Um, and oh boy. So I'm sure you've heard like Israel fired missiles into Iran, destroying a
Mm.
bunch of military targets and nuclear sites, which hopefully aren't going to cause some kind of disaster. And then, Iran's flinging missiles back, and now they're basically at war because obviously firing missiles into somebody else's country is an act of war.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, they're fighting on the Gaza side, and now they're fighting with Iran, and it's like, dude, what the hell? What do
Right.
you think about all that?
Iran, kaboom.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, like, yeah, that I don't follow all that stuff so close, but my first thought was like, you're already fucking with Palestine. Why are you gonna like dip your toes into another conflict?
yeah,
But
open up
then,
another front. That's crazy.
but then there's also like the political theater end of things, like maybe it was planned for some time and it's timed to happen at a certain time in the global political theater so that
Yeah.
you're not looking over there, you're looking over here. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep. Yeah,
for
exactly.
whatever reason. And, like World War III is probably kind of getting to be on the horizon now.
Well, yeah, because it really, all these different conflicts that are going on or brewing and things like that. It's like, Jesus, I'm really worried about things. But I
Yeah.
like it is to me like the Iran didn't really do anything to provoke that attack. I mean, they're just like, well, we're going to carry forward with our nuclear program, and that's it. It's not like they're firing any. They're just
Well,
sitting there.
wasn't this like on the eve of sitting down and talking peacefully about that?
Yes, yes. They were. It was like there were discussions already in the works. We're like trying to, you know, work with Iran and get them to do things, and now it's like, oh, oopsie. Well, that is just now thrown out the window.
That alone right there makes me think of the latter scenario I put forward, the political theater thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no other reason than to make a grand fucking show at a certain time because, like, the very next day you could have peacefully solved things.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly.
Who would choose to get into a fucking hot war over settling things the easy way? Like,
I know exactly. Well, and it makes me think that somebody doesn't want there to be peace.
hmm
Maybe several somebodies
yeah,
that, like, there's an attempt at settling things peacefully, but then back in the background, like shadow governments and shit, they
yeah,
want a war because they can benefit from wars.
yeah.
You can alter the geopolitical landscape by conducting
I
warfare.
I heard some conspiracy theories. Um, I didn't put a lot of stock in them,
Mm.
and of course, it's already come to pass that nothing came of it. But there were people thinking that the timing with Trump's military parade and all the No Kings protests and stuff, people thought that Iran was going to activate sleeper cells from people that Biden let in and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's getting to be where like all these theories, you can't tell like what side of the political fence they're coming from.
Yeah, I
This
know.
is like
It's
Biden, Trump, and
Yeah, I know. Well, and we have to understand that the planet is a lot bigger than just the US. Even though the US
Mm,
is a major player, there's
yeah,
many other players too to
yeah,
consider. And so, like, I have no idea. I know that like people in the US for a long time had wanted to take out Iran, and it was kind of a challenge. But hey, if we can kind of have this proxy conflict where Israel is doing the fighting.
Well, Trump 1.0 went after that. What was his name? Totally just like dropped a bomb on the dude's head. Remember
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah. I can't remember who. Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah, we did that season one episode on that.
Mm,
Um, like that, that tells me, well, that and, the US and Israel are buddy buddy.
yeah,
Um, there probably is some kind of string pulling coming from the US region or whoever's pulling the US's strings, maybe.
yeah. Which is there are definitely there's like elements of the government that are unseen that have
Yeah,
been there that like perpetuate. I mean, or they persist regardless of who is in charge, what political party. You know, they will
it's becoming
remain.
abundantly clear that whoever is in charge is apolitical,
Mhm.
has no borders.
Yep.
Like it's about things that are far more, beyond the I don't know, just the accoutrements that we're all skirmishing over,
Yeah.
this line
Well,
in the sand or,
that was
like,
time. But
oh,
yeah, you're right. I mean, you just like started opening the door to kind of what I was getting at and what I've been believing for a long time.
mm,
Um, yeah, and that's something that people need to pay attention to. But again, it's like there's this monkey dust that goes up to like, oh, look here, and don't pay no attention to what's going on over there. So it's like headlines and stuff talk about these relatively minor and transient things. Well, meanwhile, there's this long game going on that we're
yeah.
not supposed to be privy to, or things like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, wow, man, we could definitely go on and on about that one. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
Well, that was it for yet another lightning strikes twice. So yeah, we do this every week usually. So stick around, and uh, they come out every week. So you'll see another one. Hey, and comment, of course, what you think about these things. Comment for maybe ideas to bring up in the future as
Yeah.
well. We'd really appreciate that.
Oh,
Um,
and now we sell swag.
yes.
You can get it right from the episode. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
buy our swag.
All right. And
Smoke.
smoke.